Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. It is March 7th, 2026. And I hope the day is treating you well. I got a few messages here for you. Holy moly, you guys. You know, I tried to record this message and the other device, it said that there's no memory. And the crazy thing is that there's nothing on that phone and I don't know why. I can't get a decent video out of that phone anymore. I think I'm just going to have to delete every freaking thing off of that phone so that I can utilize it more. I hope the day is treating you kindly, everybody. We got a whole lot of stuff going on, and there's a lot of changes. There's some folks that have to step down. They've done so many heinous things. They got to step down. All right, so anyway, I had almost had this this recorded for you, and then the phone shut off, so I'm going to restart. So there's talk of a terrorist organization, and there's talk of the infrastructure. It could be that somebody's going to be taking down a terrorist organization. The curator keeps talking about sacrilege. So they cursed the bloodline and the whole of the indigenous people, all of the relatives of sacrilege, and that curse has been broken. They got them into alcohol. And with this alcohol, I believe it opened up the gates of their system and their minds, and they were infested with these fallen angels, these Rosy Boyfriends, these demons of love. And then they were cursed and bound. A curse has been broken. Sacagawea, apparently, according to the curator, has vowed that all of the RAPists in their territory are going to be scalped, and they will be hunted. The time for giving our best to our unexpected guests is over. I'm hearing they're going to have to step down. Someone said the word desecration. They have violated the whole of life. Pollution, dishonor, vandalism, destruction, damaging everything, contaminating everything, spreading infection, and sacrilege. These religious folks who've been burning us alive for sacrilegious have been committing sacrilege themselves for centuries. It's a violation or misuse of what is regarded as sacred. The earth angels are sacredly connected to source, and they 100% connected to source by themselves, and these religious men have been burning them alive lifetime after lifetime for being sacrilegious. No. God's sons and daughters refused to bow and to fall at the feet of these pimps, these RAPs, these pedophiles, using their religious facilities as fronts for such things as trafficking. They take the membership list, I believe, and put those names of these golden beings looking to get closer to God in a little jar, and then they transfer their sin onto it. And that's why they tell every little baby that they were born a sinner, because their name goes into the freaking jar, and then they get covered in the shame and the blame for the sins of this collective. You've got, in the 4,000 years ago, Spirit said, this religion, this Abrahamic religion, the Jewish thing, the Islamic thing, and the Christian thing, it was an organization that was structured way back when as a tool to command the minds and the lives of others. And they were burning people alive and torturing them to death if they did not fall at the feet of these ones. They were calling them sacrilegious by themselves performing sacrilege, violating the sacred. They thought their religion was greater than the sacred essence of the all that is, and when the earth angels refused to accept that, they would get tortured. They would get tortured. The women would be gang RAP'd, maybe the men too, and then they would be burned alive in front of everybody to make fear in everybody. Oh no, don't stand up to this religious facility, right? This religious facility who is committing sacrilege on the regular, calling us sacrilegious while they themselves were performing sacrilege. They have impoverished everyone who is necessary here. Everyone who is in the poorhouse. Everyone who is homeless. Everyone who they've driven into alcoholism or drug addiction. Everyone that they have driven into lack, self-loathing, imprisonment. Everyone who is not in a status of authority at this time has been stolen from and defiled and vilified. They have stripped the wealth from those who are here in purpose, and they have denied them the right to elevate into that purpose, to receive God's holy messages and then to manifest them into the world as they were meant to do. These guys wrapped the crowns of people, hexed and cursed it, and then intercepted these upper dimensional messaging, and then, stole your identity, and in the astral space presented as you while they were using your gifts, your identity, your face, your energy to do crimes in those spaces as you, so that you would be forever rejected by the Most High. But the illusion is cracked and they can see. They impoverished everyone who is necessary here. They kept them from their purpose. They have denied them that wealth that God gave them to be here in purpose. They denied people the memory of who they are and what they are here to do. And they took God's inheritance and authority too, wearing the identities and playing a fool. Apparently, many people did not give up the fight because they did not want you to go home. They're addicted to the earth angels' energy. They're addicted to being seen as a person of authority by stealing your identity and your gifts. Their favorite weapon of war is marriage, contracting into a clan somehow. They like to marry into it. They like to FUCK their sacrifices. These rosiers, these demons of love. Yeah, and their wives, you know what they're called? They're called roses, because these ones are rosiers. So the fallen angel marries, pretends they're an actual twin flame earth angel. They marry into a clan, and then they sacrifice the actual rose. And then they wear the identity of the rose. These rosiers, these demons of love, they're committed to stealing the identity and the energy and the gifts of the actual roses, which are the divine feminines. And they like to tap the corpuscles of the men and the boys because apparently they get something out of that too. I don't know what it is. I'm not a man. I'm sorry. I don't have the same experiences. I can't speak on that. But I do know that it is happening and that it has occurred. They're calling somebody diabolical. This Hebrew, which is what he is, this curator is a Hebrew. Now, he could be a Zionist. I don't know. Maybe he's not an actual true Hebrew. I don't know. But they are calling him diabolical. These ones who torture innocent people while they sleep. They come in and they violate the actual womb energy with their sex magic. They violate the purity of people's wombs, and then they try to tap into that, and then they consider themselves conquerors because they did some sex magic on somebody to defile their womb and the purity of their energy. These are unseen RAPs. There's nothing innocent about it. This is premeditative, intentional polluting of an actual divine being, hoping that they can transfer their soul value to their own piece of shit self. No, that's not going to happen anymore. Anybody who does that kind of shit anymore, I guess, is going to be dealt with by Sacagawea. They mentioned the Philosopher's Stone again. Now, the Philosopher's Stone is a red stone, And I'm not too sure it isn't made from the blood of the powerful light beings, to be quite honest with you. That blood, it connects with the all that is. The eternal life and power of everything is in you. Somebody said, I even have hope. And it's wonderful because the rumor has it that the divine mothers of this world, so the sacred divine essence and soul has been reactivated and come back online of all of the divine mothers that have been violated physically, magically, in all ways. So they are recognized with their powerful light and this powerful eternal life that is in their womb, and this potent and powerful gate, portal of the womb that is connected to all upper dimensional Star Nation soul tribes and their families. These entities, these nasty jacks, these fallen angels, these demons of love, these Rosy A's, whatever the hell, this demon of love, a fallen angel considered a patron of tainted love and seduction. The roses used in witchcraft to present love and passion. So they've been transferring the passion and the love of the rose, the actual divine woman, into their own self with this tainted love and seduction bullshit. They've been siphoning the love and the hope out of people. So this was a younger masculine. I even have hope. So the mothers have come back online. Their skills for nurturing, for bringing life to, for rejuvenating and healing has been being poured into the youth that has been being violated by these fallen angels and everyone else as well. You're giving them hope. You're reinvigorating the life within them. You're sharing with them your zest and your determination for life and source connection. You're sharing with them this connection and breaking the bonds, it seems, with those who have been violating them. That's very good. One of these older masculines said that he's not crazy about the onions. Now, onions represent layers of protection, eternity, and emotional unveiling. He's not crazy about the onions. He's not crazy about your protection. The ancient Egyptians used onions in tombs to protect spirits, while folk magic utilizes them to banish evil or attract prosperity. Symbolically, they represent the uncovering of hidden truths, deep introspection, and the layers of the soul. These older masculines, these tainted demon lovers, these fallen angels are not crazy about the onions. They're not crazy about the protections that are coming back over the youth that have been used as espionage agents by these mutants. So peeling away of negative layers to reveal the true self, the inner healing, and the protection. So these younger masculines that these assholes have been trying to flip are upset that they're seeing their true self, that they're receiving an inner healing and they're receiving protection, and that they even have hope now. So there's a great healing for these youth that have been so abused by these fallen angels, trying to create more jealous masculines who want to compete with the actual mother. So it's bullshit. They've been used as espionage kids to come in and gather information. They've been using the sweet sounding children to gather intel. The secret organized gathering of top secret information about rivals, typically conducted by governments or businesses to gain advantage. It involves spying to uncover hidden facts, often using deception to avoid being caught. This can include military, political, or industrial secrets. So they've been using espionage kids in this way. Their favorite weapon of war is the espionage kids and relationship marrying into clans, upper dimensional clans, and then sacrificing them into the devil's realm because they're fallen angels trying to gather the control over these upper dimensional spaces that they no longer have access to. They do it by marrying the rose. These rosiers, these demons of love, do it by marrying the rose that they call the rose, the actual earth angelic, upper dimensional soprano, these beautiful divine women that have the wombs of eternal life, that are the connector and the bridge to all Star Nation soul families and soul tribes. Someone said to another, possibly the curator, "You are doing evil." And they mentioned the Talmud, which is Hebrew for study or learning. And this curator is insisting that the woman needs medicine. This curator, whoever he is, wherever he is, he's a Hebrew. He could be a Zionist, a fake Hebrew. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. But he's been in charge, and he feels that all of the earth angels' merchandise, their soul, their spirit, their bridge, their connector to the upper dimensional Star Nation soul tribes, and all of that wealth, all of those children that come from those upper dimensional spaces, he feels he owns. And he has the right to harvest their soul if he can get this medicine inside of their flesh temple. They are insisting that they have the right to remove powerful divine women from their positions of authority. The curator and his buddies are cannibalistic. They desperately want to consume the soul of these powerful women. They insist they have the right to remove them and to consume them due to a medicine. Now, the synthetic medicines they feel is their right. They poison everybody into a sickness, the waters, the foods, everything. Their minds, they destabilize them by running streaming, Microsoft, Hulu, freaking Wi-Fi movies or radio soundtracks of failure through their mind, self-loathing, whatever. So this medicine, so you may have to take medicine to try to bring homeostasis to this deceitful and technological interference. It is not an organic, faulty situation. It is technological interference that needs some kind of help to bring about homeostasis. They insist that because you're using the medicine to bring about homeostasis and temperance with their technological interferences gives them the right to harvest you. They consider themselves conquerors over your consciousness and your ability to manage your temple and your energy and your mental body and all of that, your emotional body, because their technology is overcoming you, and they feel that they have the right and the authority to harvest the soul value and all covenants and powers, because their technology has somehow overcome your organic ability to bring homeostasis and temperance to the vessel. They feel that their interference and their attack upon you is sufficient to consider themselves a conqueror. The problem is that they were supposed to be bringing people closer to God, and instead they were driving everybody into the devil's house, claiming themselves the superior angel, but they are a demon of love, a freaking rosier, a rosy boyfriend, a freaking soul harvester of those who they profess to love, but they don't. They love to hate the divine feminine. They love to hate the children coming from her womb. They want to turn the children coming from her womb against her by using her mask, her energy, her identity to harm them. These poisoners of everything have been consuming souls for who have been poisoned and then filled with these so-called medicines. They've been using them as a soul trap for a very long time. And once they get that, they use the body, the vessel, the mind as a connector and a bridge into these upper dimensional Star Nation soul tribes, which they should not have had access to. These are fallen angels. These are demons. They're just, and then they go up into these upper dimensional spaces and make war with the actual divine masculines and try to get them the hell out of there so that they can command that upper dimensional space. This is a fallen angel, a collective of them, and they operate under religion and human sacrifice. They are discussing some sort of periodic table. A periodic table is a structured tabular display of all 118 known chemical elements ordered by increasing atomic number, the number of protons. This curator that feeds on human souls insists he has the right to consume this powerful woman's soul to become just like her by feeding on her blood, her flesh, and to claim her universal status and authority, to wear her identity, and to control the universal gate, and every other life within every other portion of the universe. This leech thinks that he's great, or he wants to be, by claiming the wealth of an earth angel once more. This is how all of the fallen angels have obtained status of authority. He insists that all merchandise, the life force, the identity, the energy, the soul, belongs to him. This fellow, the earth angel merchandise, this fellow has been raping and prostituting everyone throughout the universe, and they start when they're children. They've been broadcasting it. They've been creating movies and broadcasting their gang RAP of the children, of the women, of the men throughout the universe, and they've been portraying themselves as victors, as conquerors over life, over God's family. They've been consuming souls and replacing them with soulless copycats. He lacks responsibility, and this medicine does not give him the right to harvest anybody. Every structured chemical of this realm belongs to the planetary mother. These guys don't get to harvest anybody that has this medicine in them. The mother gets to harvest that. The mother gets to claim that. The mother gets to bring it back online and offer it a different, holistic system for health care. All elements of the earth utilized to create these synthetic medicines and foods or whatever belong to the planetary earth mother. And the earth mother is her spirit is in everything except for these fallen angels. The only way that the spirit of the mother is inside of these fallen angels is if they sacrifice her and then consume her. And they've been doing it to all of the women, the girls and the boys that come from the womb, regardless of age. She gets to claim them, not the pirate magician. These are the family of the planetary earth mothers. These pirate magicians and their magic tricks cannot claim these souls. Just because they've poisoned a flesh temple does not mean that they get to claim the merchandise or the energy or the value or the spirit or the soul of a family member of an upper dimensional Star Nation soul tribe. That's just not the way it works. They've broken so many universal laws. So they're complaining that she's cognizant, meaning she has knowledge and she's aware of what's going on here, mindful of a specific fact, situation, or surrounding. They complain that she has an attitude. These nasties have been torturing her soul lifetime after lifetime. They've actually burned her alive many times, according to the curator. They've crucified her. They've spent all day tearing her flesh apart like they did with the Jesus story. Yeah, it's happened to divine mothers over and over again, and they never tell her story. As a matter of fact, I think the story that they created is her story, but they've attributed it to this man, this fake Jesus, who's been gathering the soul value of divine feminines. They've been sustaining themselves on these sacrifices of the roses, these rosiers, these demons of love, these rosy boyfriends, are complaining that she has an attitude. The rose survived. The rose popped up. The rose has been reclaimed by the Most High Divine. And these nasty mutants claiming to be divine are mad because she has an attitude. They burned her alive and tortured her for centuries. They've been prostituting everyone, the children that come forth from her womb. They've been gender altering the men, putting atrazine into the waters, putting estrogen into all of the foods. And then they've been trying to gender alter them, making them their bitch while they prostitute the women and the children. They wanted to create a competition between these gender altered males and the actual woman, the mother. So, of course, any decent woman would be up in arms over what these parasitical, nasty jacks portraying themselves as men have been doing. Somebody says, the chapter is over, but they're still not giving up. They still speak of red rumming these powerful divine feminines, harvesting their soul and their gifts, all of their authority. They won't stop being a threat to her life and well-being. They will continue to project their vile energy and refusal of her, their hate for her, into her. They cannot be permitted to remain in her house. She does not deserve to have to transmute this hate energy. It's been centuries of abuse and torture. She deserves to be free of these, in the physical as well in the spiritual. So the soul of the Divine Mother has been emancipated. The children coming from her womb are emancipated. These entities are targeting the handicapped children and the orphans. I pray that their souls are protected and claimed by God, and that no torture or anything of them be felt by that soul, that they just be removed as soon as these nasty jacks try to do anything, and boom, move back up into the heavens. Damn bastards. May they never, ever, ever feed again on this family. So, may the Divine Mother be freed of the environment these hateful men dwell in. May they never be served by her or any of her sisters or any of her men or any of her children ever again. Somebody said, it didn't work. And another masculine said he was concerned about the people. These men, these fallen angels, have been gender altering, chemically castrating. They've been CRISPRing everybody. This is like generation 5 human or whatever. Maybe we're coming into generation 6. But they've been, this has been like reset after reset. And apparently this reset is the final reset, that these guys will never come within, somebody mentioned, 500 million light years from you, which is really wonderful. So you've got multiversal protection out here for your life. They're very, they've been using the power and the authority and the gifts of these divine women to spread terrorism throughout the universe to all of the Star Nation soul tribes. They've been using our womb of power, our eternal life, this source-connected everything, to create fear and terrorism in the world. And now they've been disconnected. All of the entities, all of these CRISPRed, genetically modified entities that these guys have been producing, were in on the mental cursing, the energetic defilement, the physical defilement, the theft, the brutality, the arrogant selfishness. So he's concerned about the people, these brutalizers, these demons of love, these rosiers, these rosy boyfriends and girlfriends who've been sacrificing the true roses and the true trump cards, those who actually have the gifts of source-connected upper dimensional spaces and places. He's concerned about the people. Well, they're losing everything because it never belonged to them. The identities that they hold, the gifts that they wield, they've all been stolen from those true earth angels that they have brutalized and tortured, fragmented the minds of, tried to snuff the light of the soul, ripped the soul out of them. He's concerned about what he's stolen from the earth angels. He's concerned about the people not having that wealth anymore. They have to go earn it. You can't just steal it. So I'm asking myself, who is this? It's like it's the fake Jesus. He's worried about the people. But those people are the ones that he's been sustaining by sacrificing the roses, these rosy boyfriends, these, you know, and I've been saying cornholio. And mind you, the two-spirited people, I should stop saying that because I don't mean any disrespect for those sweet souls who've actually been gender attacked and kind of mentally driven. I'm not talking about the manipulations of our family that has. They wanted them to be seen as debauchery. They wanted you all to be seen as debauchery and to be thrown into the fire. They gender altered the masculines. They altered their minds with these chemicals, and they wanted them to be seen by the Most High God as debauchery. And it's just not true. And it's sad because they also put, humans, their sacrifices into the meat grinders and then sold us the hamburger that ground the turkey and whatever. And they wanted to frame us as being cannibalistic, as they are, because they wanted us to be trapped, to be seen as what they are. It's just not true. And I have prayed. God said that those masculines who have been gender switched or gender modified or gender abused with these chemicals and all of that they will be remasculinated. So this is good. The upper divine recognizes this atrocious interference and abuse against the biology of your soul. Yeah, it's going to be undone. You're not going to be condemned as debauchery, as what these fallen, tainted, rosy boyfriends are. You won't be seen as them. It was all a manipulation. And that's all I can say, because I don't really know, and I don't really have an opinion regarding sweet souls, except that I pray for their survival and their embrace and their undoing of the harm that has been done. There's a lot of mental stuff going on, a lot of mental manipulations, and I'm not here to say that anybody hasn't got their full cognizance. So I'm not here to say that. I'm here to say that they literally did this, and that they've been consuming the souls of these people. And I think they've been trying to turn the masculine into rosy boyfriends, those demons of love, those, what do they call them? They've been trying to not only gender switch the masculines, but they've been trying to turn them into rosy boyfriends, which are demons of love that just go out and have sex with anybody and everybody. They wanted them to be seen as a patron of tainted love and seduction. They wanted them to be seen as the fallen angels. And they wanted them to go into the fire. They tried to frame the divine masculines with their own projections by this chemical interference. So somebody's asking another, what do you recommend? And he's saying, she's the unifier. So the root and the crown have been bridged, and the root and the crown are being bridged for all of these others that had been disconnected. The divine mothers have been risen into their status of dignitary and authority, and they are healing the fractured connections that these demon lovers have been trying to stick on everybody. So she's a unifier. Apparently people are talking to their advisors on how they should handle this woman or these women. So just leave her be, tyrant. Leave her be. Apparently your days of commanding the mothers is over. The words chased by light ran through my mind. Chased by light generally means actively seeking out the best, most beautiful, or fleeting illumination, often used by photographers and artists to describe pursuing perfect natural lighting. It also represents a metaphor for seeking joy, positivity, hope, and personal growth while overcoming darkness, heaviness, or challenges. So the Divine Mothers out there are the unifiers of the root and the crown, and they are chased by light. They are seeking joy, positivity, hope, and personal growth while overcoming darkness, heaviness, and challenges. And they're sharing that essence, that energy with the people. As I mentioned, in the past, one of these younger masculines said, "I even have hope." And it's wonderful what the planetary mothers are doing with their limitless potential and power of this womb that has been activated, and the soul which has been reactivated and come back online. The blockages, the curses, all of that has been broken. The Divine Mothers are standing in their power. And I don't mean those who have had children. I mean those who have had wombs. Okay? And even those who have had hysterectomies, you still have that source connection and that power. The energy of the mother is still in you. Absolutely. So you're the unifier, you're chased by light, you're sharing that light with the youth who have been used and violated, brutalized by these fallen angels, these demons of love, and you're bringing everything back online. Someone said something about China, and another one said something about Cuba. There's something about a lack of nutrition. Now, in Africa, they've got the moringa tree, which is the leaves of the tree have a high nutritional value. There is also something called lamb's quarter, which is a bush of green leaves. This lamb's quarter also has high nutritional value. You can use it in your soups, you can use it in your smoothies, you can eat it. You will not starve if you have these things. So those are two plants that you can actually survive by eating the leaf of. Something about a lack of nutrition. China, Cuba, we may have to find some plants that they can grow there that will that can be incorporated into their food pyramid, perhaps. These guys did their best to strip good foods and good nutrition out of every region and realm. They wanted everybody to be sick, weak, poisoned, and on medicine. They wanted to harvest the whole world as being insufficient and incapable of managing themselves or of healing their environment. These ones have been spraying barium and aluminum throughout the whole realm. Okay, and they say they spray more here than anywhere else, or that nobody else does it. But guess what? What you spray in the atmosphere is not just going to fall locally, it spreads. So they've been spraying this stuff in the atmosphere, and it's spreading throughout the entire world. Now, the whatever you call that thing for barium is Ba, and whatever you call that thing for aluminum is Al. And when you put it together, it's Baal. Baal. Now, they wanted to set it on fire. They wanted to create a safe haven for themselves after harvesting the earth angelics and then claiming themselves to be the golden ones and then be protected by this fire, right? So I don't know what's actually going to happen here. Now, there are things that you can utilize to bring the metals out of the earth, and there are things that you can grow to increase the nitrous or the nitrogen and everything that is needed in the soils. There's ways to get around this toxification that these men, they're not really men. They're fallen angels representing themselves as a man. They're using a man's suit as an avatar, but the entity inside that man's suit is a demon. They don't have the capacity to feel. They're very callous, very crude. They are tyrant, dominator, brutalizers. These are the pimps of the world. They're called Rosy Boyfriends, and they are sacrificers of what they call the Rose, the actual divine daughter of Eden. There is something about a 90-day win. A 90-day win refers to achieving or settling the foundation for significant, tangible results within the first 3 months of a new endeavor, such as a job, project, or personal goal. It's a strategy used to build momentum, establish credibility, and prove value quickly. 90 days would be June. And a while back, a masculine said that he wanted to be finished by the end of September. So it looks like these next 90 days will be a period where we're building momentum and establishing credibility to prove the value quickly of these, I believe, earth angelics who had been stripped of their value and their merchandise and held back from their purpose. So over the next 90 days, I believe that all of you earth angelics are going to be coming online, and you're going to be proving your value very quickly, what you are cognizant of, what you know, and why you are here, your purpose. You're going to be stepping into it very quickly. Apparently, there's some kind of punishment for what these guys have been doing. The curator is complaining that she's transmuted everything that they've done to her. You are a master alchemist. You are a planetary stabilizer. You are the dignitary and the mother of souls. You've transmuted every vile thing that they've done to you, and you've been alive for centuries. None of it has stuck to you. Your soul has been reactivated, or it has come back online, and you are seen very clearly as the phoenix who's been flying around in that damn fire, gathering information. So, you've transmuted everything that they've done to you. They've been trying to pollute and defile the essence and energy of the divine feminines. It's very vile, the behavior of these masculines portraying themselves as divinity. Apparently, they're getting messed up by your protection and by God's army. See this curator, this Hebrew, that has been, what does it say? So he's been doing evil using the Talmud. He is cannibalistic, and he's been consuming souls. And they're getting messed up from the Star Nation soul tribes, whose family members these pieces of shit have consumed and deceitfully convicted and thrown into the fire. Something about a countdown. Something about a past life. And something about the President of the United States. Somebody says, you don't have a clue what's going to happen to you. It sounded like a personal threat. But I don't know. Maybe it was a threat to the President of the United States for what he has done to you in a past life. Take it as it resonates. The mother stated that these ones will not be obtaining you. She also said to be prepared that they would not survive. The curator is being told he is deceitful, that every conviction that he ever made was deceitful. They were all false convictions of earth angels. He convicted them, and then he sentenced them to hell. Osiris has been talking with the crown. The root and the crown are in communications, and these souls are being traded for those who actually belong there. So the earth angels are being traded for the devils that have been deceitfully having residence in these upper dimensional spaces. They're being swapped out. So the curator is talking about a Sagittarius again. And their perfect sacrifice must be a Sagittarius. But God said they would never find what they seek. He said, you will never find what you're looking for, Hebrew. Again, I'm not talking smack about the Jews or any of that, okay? I don't know anything about that except that it's been a lot of shit. I know that I've seen these men smashing babies. I've seen them smashing chickens. I've seen them doing their transference of sin rituals in the astral. And that's all I can say. I can't really speak on the mind or the intent or whatever is going on there. I do know from the actual reporting of the actual Jewish people that the Zionists are not part of that family and that they want to see them, stopped. But I don't know much about that. Okay, that's on you guys. So their perfect sacrifice would be a Sagittarius. Apparently, in order to properly transfer the soul value and identity, it has to be a zodiac match. Their black hole soul god, which could be Baal, B-A for barium and A-L for aluminum, this spray that they have covered the United States in, and this thing that they intend to light on fire, right? So that person must be a Sagittarius, because they have to have a Sagittarius, a beautiful, innocent, pure, virgin-like girl to possess the identity and the soul of. I've been in the astral and I've seen one of these girls, and they thought for sure she was it. And I saw her, they were trying to teach her how to fight. There was like a stick, like the martial artists have, the big stick man. And she was out there in her little dress punching it, But she was obviously not a fighter. And they weren't able to find I don't know, I guess they were finding some mother warrior or whatever, and she was supposed to be a young brunette gal, and they weren't able to find her, and God said they will never find her, because God recognizes that whoever this is portraying themselves as this Hebrew or whatever, that he's a false person. God also stated that it is the end of their relationship with batteries. They will no longer be feeding on the souls of light. They will no longer be claiming this family. They will no longer be becoming just like them, the earth angels, by feeding on them, by sacrificing them, by eating their flesh and drinking their blood. This is a sick thing, and it's polluted the entirety of the world here. This is the end of them feeding on the earth angels, stealing their identity and replacing them in these upper dimensional spaces. The curator is being called a thief, which he is. All of his friends are. The curator's interdimensional guide seems to be telling him to go for negotiations, but it appears negotiations are over. This is the time for convictions. God said the planetary mother had been too forgiving. And it's time for God's wrath, for vengeance, according to the history. He said that vengeance, or the need for vengeance, is in the history. This has been going on for thousands of years, and their mindset and intent are very clear. There's no time for negotiations. They have reneged on every treaty. They have bowed out and went against every contract. They have betrayed every vow, every promise. Nothing that comes out of them is true. Negotiations with these ones are not a possibility. They have to get out of the territory of the children. They have to get off of this planet. And I would say they have to get out of the universe, because they've been trafficking and SEX slaving everybody throughout the universe, and God doesn't want this to happen anymore. These are universal pirates. They are fallen angels. They are demons of love, and they have been violating everybody and everything throughout the universe. So they have to be gone. They have to get out. And I don't know that God's going to let them just leave. I think he's going to contain them somehow or recycle them, because it's very, very vile what they chose to become. This apparent supremacy or whatever. They mean to enslave and consume the soul of the tribe of Lyra. The lion and the jaguar are united. The root and the crown have come together, and they are working symbiotically to create a state of temperance here in the middle ground. It's time for retribution. For all of those families, for all of those souls that had been deceitfully convicted of crimes that these projectionists, these sorcerers committed themselves. These ones have trespassed against the souls of the upper dimensional Star Nation soul tribes in the most heinous way. They cannot be granted permission to reside in the house of this family's children. These souls and their wombs, their creator purpose, the portal connected to everything including eternal life, must be protected. It's not just this planet. These ones have been prostituting and enslaving people throughout the whole of the universe. They are in the universal gatekeeper position, but they never should have been that. They sacrificed the divine woman, the divine feminine, who had been given Rainbow Covenant and that authority. And then they put this curator, this Hebrew, whatever the hell he is, in charge of interpreting this divine planetary mother, planetary stabilizer's messaging. And then they effed everything up, wearing her identity, trying to get her to be seen as insufficient and incapable. They violated the soul of the planetary mother, which resides in all of life. They need to get out of the universe, and all of their slave colonies must be dismantled. There's no room for negotiations with pedophiles and cannibals of the human race. Those who have been consuming the souls of their children. One masculine is asking about a woman, whether or not she's youthful. And someone is saying something about Israel. So, that's the message. And I'll see you on the next one, everybody. Bye.